The Seven Fallen, a tale of the world's most dangerous. The shattering of the veil. Once, in the beginning of time, the world was cradled between two great realms, the Empyrean, the seat of all light, and the Abyss, the pit of all chaos. Between them stretched the veil, a thin, shimmering border that kept the two forces from destroying one another. The veil was guarded by 7 angels of unimaginable power. They were the first forged, shaped by the Creator's own hand before the foundations of the world were laid. Their names were Azrael, the blade of endings; Sariel, the eye of judgment; Belial, the serpent of deceit; Apollyon, the lord of the pit; Israfel, the trumpet of madness; Abaddon, the warden of despair; Asmodeus, the prince of wrath. Each angel was given dominion over a part of existence, and for a time, the balance was perfect. But power, even celestial power, breeds ambition. The whisper in the light. It began with a whisper. No one knows its true origin. Perhaps it was a flaw in the Maker's design, or perhaps a seed planted by the abyss itself. Belial, the serpent of deceit, heard it first. It spoke of freedom, of casting off the heavy burden of obedience. He, who had been made to embody truth and order, found himself drawn to lies and rebellion, one by one. He whispered to the others. Azrael, the blade of endings, listened, for he had grown weary of the endless cycles of life and death. Sariel, the eye of judgment, listened, for he had seen injustice go unpunished even in heaven. Apollyon, the lord of the pit, listened, for he had long envied the Maker's supreme authority. Israfel, the trumpet of madness, listened, for the music of chaos had begun to sing sweeter than the hymns of harmony. Abaddon, the warden of despair, listened, for he had tasted the sorrow of the mortal world and found it intoxicating. And Asmodeus, the prince of wrath, needed no whisper. His rage was already a roaring fire. Togut. Together, they conspired, and when they acted, the veil was torn open. The first war, the world screamed as the veil shattered. Light and darkness flooded into each other, corrupting and consuming. The 7 angels, now corrupted and terrible, descended upon the mortal realm. They were no longer guardians, they were conquerors. Azrael's sword carved cities into dust, Sariel's gaze turned kings into madmen, Belial sowed betrayal in every heart, Apollyon raised armies of nightmares, Israfel's song drove whole nations to madness, Abaddon blanketed the lands in endless despair, Asmodeus bathed the earth in blood and fire. The heavens themselves trembled, but the Maker, silent since the beginning, did not intervene. It fell to the younger angels, the ones still loyal, to rise against the 7. Thus began the first war of heaven and earth, a cataclysm so vast that its echoes are still felt in every human conflict, every shadow of fear, every broken dream. After 1,000 years of war, the loyal angels, led by the archangel Michael and the seraph Anael, cornered the 7 at the shattered heart of the world, the abyssal rift. There, after a battle that scorched the very soul of the earth, the 7 were defeated, but they could not be destroyed. They were too ancient, too deeply woven into the fabric of existence. Instead, they were bound. Azrael was chained to the dying stars, Sariel was imprisoned within the mirror of souls, Belial was locked in the endless labyrinth of lies, Apollyon was cast into the well of forgotten dreams. Israfel was silenced and sealed beneath the black mountain, Abaddon was buried beneath the river of tears, Asmodeus was frozen in a tomb of burning ice. Yet the seals were made by angels. Not gods, and angels, even the greatest of them, are not infallible. The cracks begin to show, eons passed. Humanity rose from the ashes, built civilizations, forgot the old wars. But the seals began to weaken. Whenever a man lied for gain, Belial's prison cracked. Whenever a death went unavenged, Sariel stirred. Whenever despair overcame hope, Abaddon's river grew thin. Whenever rage led to murder, Asmodeus smiled in his sleep. And now, in the waning years of the modern age, the 7 stir once more. The awakening. One by one, the 7 began to awaken. Azrael's chains shattered with the death of the last star of the ancient constellation. Sariel's mirror fractured when the blood pact was made in the secret chambers of tyrants. Belial's labyrinth opened when the leaders of nations bartered truth for power. Apollyon's well boiled over as dreams turned to nightmares in the cities of men. Israfil's song began to echo again when madness became a virtue. Abaddon's river ran dry when hope itself was mocked. Asmodeus's icy tomb melted in the fires of unending war, and with their awakening, the world began to unravel. The new war, now, hidden among men, the seven walk again. They wear many faces, a politician promising salvation with poisoned words, a pop star whose songs drive crowds to hysteria, a tech lord building machines that drain human souls. Each of the seven plots the final downfall of mankind, each seeking to remake the world in their own terrible image. But there is a last hope. A handful of warriors, scholars, and broken souls have been chosen by the last true angels to fight back. They are called the Bearers of Light, and their war is just beginning. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button for more.